Rev up your engine! Alright, today you're going to learn all about a Mazda 6. They've discontinued them. This year they're not making the Mazda 6s like these anymore. They are going to make the 2023 Mazda 6s that are completely different. They'd have a straight 6-cylinder engine and a rear-wheel drive. It'll be a thing where they'll probably mark them up really high, but he paid 20 grand for this thing brand new. Now, sure, it's not rear-wheel drive like the new one's going to be. It's front-wheel drive. But, on the other hand, the best gas mileage you ever got was going 76 miles an hour, and he got 42 miles a gallon. And he gets in the high 30s all the time, driving it normally on the highway. Now, I gotta say, it's a beautiful car, especially in this candy apple red. He does have a ding here. He was putting a camper top on his truck, and it fell and hit it. And then somebody dinged his door here, but, I mean, what can you do about that? We get inside. It does not look like the interior of a $20,000 car. It's black and chrome. It looks nice. And it's got a 6-speed standard. It does have the modern technology of electric parking brakes and that crazy stuff. But the little panel here is integrated into the dash. It's not sticking way up like some of those Toyotas do. And there comes a little Mazda. Of course, let's give you a warning. Cruise control, everything on the nice small steering wheel. I like a small steering wheel. Now, it is pretty much a sports sedan. There's plenty of room for people. And it's pretty luxurious for a $20,000 car, really. Now, he's mad because it doesn't have a button to pop the trunk. You gotta pull a release button. It's got a humongous trunk. Hello in there. I like mechanical stuff. It doesn't break. You get an electronic trunk opener and it breaks. Good luck. This is simple. Simple technology. And as you can hear, it's solid. All the lines, unlike a Tesla, line up. It's a beautiful looking car. And you know why? Check the sticker. Check it out. This baby was made in Japan. That's what you want. Sad but true. The Japanese have a certain Zen thing going on in Japan. They make them better there. That's just the way that it goes. They're serious about the stuff. They care about the stuff. Unlike a bunch of the crap they're now making in Mexico and shipping them over here, people are treated better. They're seen as a family. They don't have wide gaps. They don't rattle. They run and run and run. They don't burn oil. They get good gas mileage. As we go under the hood of this one, this is the Sky Active technology. It's a 4-cylinder engine. Take this stupid beauty cover off and we'll throw it in the grass. There it goes. It's a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine. They're really well-made engines. Of course, they got timing chains on them, not rubber timing belts. I don't know why they want to hide the stuff. I like looking at the technology, but that's the way that it goes. And of course, it's got anti-lock brakes and all that stuff on it. Now, just for fun's sake, I'd love to get my hands on one of the new 2023s. Whenever somebody gets one, contact me and bring it over here. I'll even wash and wax it for you. If you bring it to me to look at, I'd like to try it out. But for $20,000, this is a fun zoom car to drive around. What are you going to get for 20 grand these days, you know? Even a little Mavericks, they said they were going to be under 20. The cheapest one I've ever seen was $26,000. And it doesn't drive like this thing does, or get this kind of gas mileage. Now they got high compression engines. They're 13-to-1. It's a Sky Active technology. But don't think you have to buy premium gas. He runs regular gas on it, gets a great gas mileage, and it runs perfectly fine. The Mazda engineers knew what they were doing. They've designed it so you can have a high compression engine, but still use regular gas. The computer controls on modern cars have gone a long way since I was a mechanic in the 60s. If you would have told somebody back then something to have this much horsepower and be able to get that kind of gas mileage, they'd think you were insane. It's got 186 horsepower, 186 pound-feet of torque, and for a car this size, it's not particularly big, and it's not particularly small. It's just kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's just the right size. They have a lot of zip and still get really good gas mileage. Now, of course, I have to admit I'm prejudiced. This is a standard transmission car. They're more fun to drive. They're cheaper to fix. They're still okay with the automatics, but nothing like these standards. They're a lot of fun to drive around, and that's probably one of the reasons he got it so cheap, because so many people can't drive standard transmissions anymore that you can get a really good price on them because most people don't know how to drive the things. And it's not that hard to do. Watch that video that I made using the Mazda Miata when I had one in Houston, a brand new one I was trying out, and it shows you how to drive a standard. And believe me, you watch that video, you can learn how to drive a standard in probably 10 minutes if you already know how to drive. And as a matter of fact, the owner of this car made a little extra income by teaching people how to drive standards on it. People want to know, they brought it in. It's not hard. Now, Go back in the day of my father's day, manual transmissions, brakes that had no power assist. Can you imagine learning to drive on one of those? And it's a standard transmission. And many of them had 3 on the tree. The shifter is on your steering column. These things are easy to drive. The shift is right down smooth in the middle. It's numbered in case you forget. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in reverse. It's not hard to learn if you already know how to drive. Don't ever let that scare you away from buying a car, because one, you're going to get a much better deal. You're going to have a lot more fun driving around. And of course, if you ever kind of get stuck somewhere, nothing's better than a manual transmission. You can rock it, you can go back and forth. If it's slipping too much, you don't start out in first gear, start out in second gear. Then the wheels won't have as much torque and it won't spin as much. He's in Missouri, it snows in Missouri. He does have a set of 4 snow tires because he likes driving hard. That's why he bought this car. And he has a lot of fun driving around and not losing. But to give you a perfect example, I got a friend in Buffalo and he's got one. He didn't put snow tires on in the winter. Now, mind you, a few weeks ago when it snowed, I just went through Buffalo and they had that 6, 7 feet of snow in one day. He didn't go out then. He waited till the snow plows came. But it wouldn't matter what you had on these, because the big 18-wheelers will even get stuck. When there's that much snow, it doesn't matter what kind of tire tread you have. You're not going to be able to drive through until the snow plows push the feet of snow out of the way. Now, I asked him about complaints. He said his only one really was that it didn't have a button on the key to pop the trunk. And that doesn't have a sunroof, but he was kind of joking about the sunroof. They're annoying, they leak. It's either too hot or too cold to have them open. And if you leave it open and you forget, water gets in, mosquitoes get in. So I actually think the lines look better without a sunroof. I think they ruin the looks of a car. And this is such a nice looking car. Why would you want to put a hole in the top of it? Like the hole in my tooth since my hockey tooth fell out. Now we'll close the hood, take it for a spin. So you notice it's extremely quiet. It really is a nice sports sedan, I gotta say. I haven't seen anything like this for $20,000 in a long time, but that was back in the day when people were making $1.10 an hour. And it handles really well. I forgot to tell him to turn, so his infotainment system's down, so he's got to get that fixed. Just happened, so he's going to try to reset it to get that going. Sometimes a bit too much technology. Screeching halt here, and here we go. On your mark, get set, go! Well, I heard those tires squeal. This is a fun little car. And even though it handles well, it's not too tight. It rides quite well too. Okay, we're resetting the car by restarting it, and here it comes. It's coming back. A minor glitch, who knows? Something happened, but it's working now. I do have to say I'm utterly impressed by a $20,000 car that rides around like this, doesn't burn oil. If you don't push it, you get 40 miles a gallon on the highway. What's not to like about that? Why aren't they making them anymore? Because everybody's got SUV on the brain. 2023, they're going to be making the straight 6-cylinder one. I guess some of them are going to be hybrid too, with rear-wheel drive. I guess they might have the option of all-wheel drive. They haven't decided yet, I guess. The regular ones, they're not going to be making. He paid 20 grand for this. When the fancy one comes on, I can just about guarantee you they're going to be $50,000 to $90,000. Just because it's a unique situation where somebody wants a rear-wheel drive sports sedan. They're going to pay money. They're going to ask enough to begin with, and then there'll be a limited amount called up dealers. Nobody has them. I said, do you know if you're going to get them? The salespeople, they didn't know anything. Then they asked other people, they didn't know anything. And eventually I realized nobody knows anything at the dealerships about them. So good luck if you're going to try to find one, because there aren't going to be that many out, and they're going to charge you a lot of money for them. And it won't be a cheap bowl of fun like this. It would be an expensive bowl of fun that would be hard to find, so they'll probably mark the heck out of them. But really, to have this much fun in a car that looks this good for $20,000, you can't go in the past and buy one, but if you can find a used one of these things out there, my advice is go right ahead and buy it. Now, the standards are a lot more fun, but the later model ones, of course, Toyota owns 20-something% of Mazda, and a lot of the Toyota technology has gone into transmissions and stuff, and even their automatic are a lot better than they used to be. Still making these things in Japan. They're quality cars. You're looking for a good, fun used car, if you can find one. Like I always say, have a mechanic check out, you know, if they're wrecked, flooded, stolen, whatever, but these can be excellent cars for driving around. You can have a lot of fun and get good gas mileage at the same time. I've had a lot of fun in Mustang Cobras, but when I drove them, I got 3 miles a gallon. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.